MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah. So what's the most important element of parenting? I mean, there's so many important parts, but if and I like the question because it gets you thinking, what would you say first? What would you put, discuss a lot, let's say. So maybe from that perspective, there's many important parts. But what would I want you to take, or what real focus would be good for you to have? And that would be, in my opinion, in my instant reaction to your question, would be role model, being a good example for my kids, children, young people, even students as a teacher. They model themselves on your behavior, on your character, on your personality, on your reactions, interactions, right? So rather than tell your children to pray, pray with them, pray in front of them. Rather than tell them to read the Quran, sit down and read the Quran in front of them without telling them, read the Quran, do this, do that. And similarly, you want them to study and read, then read, and study and show them, like I actually do this with my kids. I ask them questions. I say, oh, do you know what verdict means? What's your verdict on this? And they might say yes, and I think, oh, well, mashallah, you've learned this word. And so I show them that, look, I know vocabulary like you. And then I ask them, if they don't, I'll say it means to make a decision. It means to, give your verdict, sometimes like your opinion. And I'll follow that up with something like, oh, you can check a dictionary, or you can Google, as we would probably write, but I don't really want to do that with them. But, it gives you an opportunity to show them something rather than just give directives. And that's why I would say try and avoid, yeah, I mean, you have to give them sometimes, you have to stand your ground sometimes, but try and reduce the directives and just model and show. And one thing I would say is for you to support each other in that. Like, you should say to your spouse, I've had this word with, so and so, and I've, done this with them and that. So, next time you get a chance, reinforce that, encourage that. And in fact, communicate with your partner, with your spouse, about raising children and the things you want to achieve. Because often, sometimes what happens is one of the parents has a lot more passion about parenting and wants to get things done, usually the mother, or sometimes the father, and the other is a bit more relaxed. Parenting is more of a routine or just everyday kind of stuff, and it's not really like focused or geared towards a particular goal, which can happen when you get accustomed to habit and just feed them, clothe them, just do the daily stuff, go out with them, whatever. And we're not really thinking about opportunities to have tarbiyah. And those opportunities are usually in interaction over food, over a trip out with the family, etc. So really try and focus on using opportunities to model the good behavior. And if they get it wrong, they get it wrong, and say to them, look, this is what I did there. Do you see what I did? It's really empowering when you can say that to your son or daughter, rather than to say to them, why didn't you do this? You should have done this. Do it this way next time. No, say, look what I did. Try and remember that. And this is how, and even if it's not you, maybe somebody else did something and you can show them that person's behavior. Say, oh, look, that person was really nice. I really like that person. Why, dad? Why, mom? Or, because look at the way he or she behaved. Look at that's good manners. But let's say a teacher, a sheikh, a pious person, elder, and they're doing the right thing, use the opportunity to show real behavior. And this is, why I started off saying that it's where we need to be. Like, we need to show real examples, living, in action things, and not just read from a book or, like just quote another person or from videos now as we do, but really live with and this means interaction, this means being there and doing things together, and then using those opportunities. And you have to be consciously aware of that time together to use it in the best of ways. Hope that helps, inshallah ta'ala.